So in today's video, I will be demonstrating how to create a classic one light portrait. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So before anything else, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel and would want to learn more about off-camera flash photography or maybe just photography in general, then this channel is for you. So you might want to consider subscribing, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. So welcome once again to my small home studio. And for you guys who are new to the channel, this is a relatively small shooting area. This is only 3.5 meters deep and 2 meters wide. Now, I will demonstrate how to use one light basically to create a very classic portrait, but let's talk about the backdrop first. The backdrop that we're going to be using today is just a plain seamless black backdrop mounted on these things. These are called the Manfrotto auto poles. Now, the modifier that I decided to use for today's shoot is this one. This is the Photix Raja Deep 60. Well, I chose a 60 cm Octabank, or the deep one, so that we can control the spill of the light. We don't really necessarily have to use a very big modifier because this 60 cm compared to the size of my subject's face and maybe half body is a relatively big light source already, so it is going to give soft light. But one of the reasons why I love this particular modifiers is because check out how easy it is for me to put it together. All I have to do is do this, and that's it. That's your modifier already. And then of course it's double diffused, and today, as I said, we will be using it with a grid. So let me just put it together. So the grid is also connected via Velcro like this. Okay, right there. Very easy, very simple to use. Less than a minute you could put this one together already. Put this, there you go. And again, these Photix modifiers, especially this Raja series, they're all Bowens mount. Now I'm going to attach it here on my Photix Cerberus, which is basically a flash holder with a Bowens mount here, right here. So all I need to do is put this here, right there, snap it into place, lock it, and we've got a good soft light already, right there. Okay. Now, last but not the least, the light that I will be using is this one. And there's something very special about this particular speedlight because this is the brand new Sony F46RM. You know this? It's different already because this is a new one that has tons of new features, to be honest. And I will probably do a full review about this particular flash in the near future. So if you guys want to know more about this flash, subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this one down, which basically gives it a 15 mm spill so that I can maximize the size of my modifier. And I'm going to mount it here on my Photix Cerberus via this clamp. That's it. So basically, this will be our light, and this is the camera that I will be using, which I will go through now. So the camera that I'm using is my Sony A7 Mark IV with a 50mm 1.2 GM lens. Now the reason why I'm using a 50mm is because I want to shoot a half body portrait, and the 50mm will give me no distortion when it comes to a composition like that. Now you guys might have noticed I have an external monitor here. This is not to assist me for shooting, but rather to record a live feed from my camera. This is a Atomos Ninja V, and it is recording a live feed from my camera, so everything that you are seeing is straight out of the camera. Absolutely no editing is done. If you want to see the processed images, I will put them at the very end of the video. Now my F46RM is remotely controlled using this one. This is the Sony WRC1M remote commander. Now this remote commander, since it is made by Sony, the moment I put it on my camera, I can wirelessly control my flash units using the in-menu system. Right now that I am showing you, this is basically how I control my flash, just by pressing a button here, which I put at C3. Now, what are my settings? My shutter speed is at 1/250 f2.8 ISO 100. Why are my settings like that? Well, because I want to remove all existing ambient light. And 250 is the flash sync speed of my camera. So you could see the moment that I turn off my flash trigger, you will see nothing. In other words, this is the exposure that is actually being recorded by my camera right now. So all the light that you will be seeing will be coming from my flash. Now my white balance, I will set to 5600 Kelvin because this particular flash unit is rated at 5600 Kelvin. However, to be honest, there's a new feature with this one that autocorrects the white balance depending on the skin tone of the subject, but I haven't fully tested it out. But if you guys are interested to know more about this flash unit, subscribe to the channel because I will be doing a full review about it soon. Okay? So with all those settings out of the way, I think it's time for me to call in my wife, Coco, who will be my subject today. And while I call her in, babe, come on in, I will put my light right here. Hi, babe.
Hey.
You look fantastic. And of course, would like to thank our friend Mela Jimenez for virtually assisting Coco put on her makeup today. Now, what I am doing is that I am lighting the short side of Coco's face. What does the short side mean? Basically, if this is the side that's going to be facing the camera, my light will be coming from this general direction to put a bit of shadow in the side that's facing the camera. That's lighting the short side of the face. And personally, I like it a lot because it gives a little bit more drama. So a classic photograph with drama, with soft light, I think it'll work well, right? So we have a black background, we have a black dress or a black trench coat. So that's where it's going to be tricky getting that proper balance of light and shadows. Now I have the grid so that I don't have too much light spilling on my backdrop, which we can play around later and remove the grid to see the differences. Now, what is my flash setting right now? It is at 1/4 power. It's set on group A. This one basically means nothing, so I can turn this one off. And I will turn this one off too. Oops, sorry. I will turn this one off also. There we go. All right. So, okay, babe? So you mind facing here first? There. Perfect. Then look towards the camera. Can you move slightly going here? There. Perfect. All right. On the count. 1, 2. Very nice. Very, very nice. Now, you could see that she might actually be, it's like a head floating because everything else is black because of the grid. So let's try removing the grid entirely and see how that one will look. So for you guys who are unaware of what a grid does, basically a grid controls the spill of the light. It makes it smaller or it makes it narrower. Now that I took out the grid, it basically makes the light stronger and wider, so I might have to adjust the power of my light. But before we do that, let's take another shot. You could see now that there's light hitting the backdrop and at the same time she's overexposed. However, I personally don't like the way it looks. I think I'll put the grid back because I don't want any light on the backdrop. However, we can always play around with it. I can control the light that's going there and maybe just keep this light over here so that I can get more spill on the trench coat of Coco. All right, so let's see how that one will look like. Very nice. I like it, but I think we're still not getting light there. We have to do this. We'll put the grid here and we'll take this one out underneath so that it will spill towards your trench coat. All right, I think that works already. So let's start playing around and getting into the real pose. Okay, babe? Very nice. You look fantastic. All right, perfect. Very nice. There, keep that. Chin up a little bit. Very nice. Wait a minute. I think I'll bring this down a bit lower. Too low. How about facing the light? Very nice. I think I want to light you in the shorter side, so I will put the light here some more to get more shadows on the other side of the face. Now it's a bit overexposed because I brought it in closer, but instead of making it weaker, I will just bring it back so that I can get more light on your body too. All right. Beautiful, there we go. And that's how simple it is to create one beautiful classic portrait light. Of course, you could play around with the poses afterwards, but the key here is really just having one light that you're controlling. Thank you very much, babe. It's a key here, actually having just one light that you can control and making sure, for me personally, I like lighting the short side of the face, but it's really up to you. You could light the broad side, you could light the short side. The broad side is the one that's facing the camera. But this is your baseline. In other words, if you want to create a classic portrait with one light, all you need is something like this, a 60 cm softbox, black background, just an ordinary Speedlight mounted on a Photic Cerberus. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell while you're at it. Now, if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.